Ladies and gentlemen, it's TNG, and in this video I've got 50 camp locations to show you. Now, all of these spots are videos that I've uploaded before. However, I thought it'd be a good idea to choose my best camp locations and put them all together in one big video. So without further ado, let's take a look at them. Oh, and as a quick FYI, there is timestamps in the description, so you can choose to look at whatever spot takes your fancy. Okay then, for our first spot, we're just up from the converted munitions factory, and this place is bloody fantastic. It's literally an abandoned settlement. It's very raiderish in its design, there's a lot of different buildings here, and honestly, this site is bloody massive. To be straight up with you guys, I'm not even sure if you'll be able to get this whole area within your camp radius, but give it a try, let me know what happens. A couple of different levels to it, it's all joined together by these little catwalk, decking kind of things. I don't know. Wooden Walkie Boy 5000s, let me know the technical term down in the description. As well as all the buildings, it's got a really nice view too. Just take a look at that. Simply lovely. Enemies wise, the last time I were up here, all I saw was dogs and mole rats, but it's been a while, so since the update they could have put more shite up here. All in all, it's a really nice location. The only comparable spot I can think of is near the Gorge River Bridge where all those open-sided cabins are, so it's pretty unique as well. Next up, we're in the Cocaine Valley, also known as the Toxic Valley, and we're just outside of Clarksburg in a pre-existing diner. So I think I'm right in saying that this is the only diner where you can place your camp on the entire map. So yep, that's a bonus. Inside it looks like, well, a diner. What else do you want me to say? It is what it is. We've got a skeleton in here who's still waiting for his meal. Looks like he could do with it as well. And in the corner, along with Baby, we've got a porter diner with that perfectly preserved pie. Very nutritious. Enemies, you say? Yeah, it's got them. There's a gaggle of ghouls that live inside the diner itself, and on the outside, a collection of crustaceans. Mireworks is what I'm trying to say. Yep. If you like your diners, it's a pretty cool spot. And due to the fact that Bethesda have still not given us back the ability to stack counters and make our own diners, you're pretty damn limited. Now we're having a wander into the forest, the best location in the entire game, and we're just down from the relay tower and we've got ourselves a little pre-war house. Now pre-war houses are everywhere in the game, as you'll see later on in the video, but I like this one for a number of reasons. One, from the front of it, you can't even tell you can build in it, it's all boarded up. So there's less of a chance of a lot of people building here, in theory anyway, don't hold me to that. The second reason, it's in bloody good condition, none of the walls are blown out, it still has a roof, and the inside is relatively clean. Now the game wants you to think that you can only build in this room here, but you can glitch through the wall and you can put down some stuff inside as well. You will have to place your items down on mats and then put them down, but that's the same for most pre-existing locations in the game. The other reasons why I like this place, it's got a nice view. You're not elevated, so it's not the best in the game, but it's still a pretty decent place. I've never seen an enemy here. Unless you're aggroed to the raiders, you shouldn't have any problems, but again, I could be wrong. I am known to make mistakes on the enemy's front. And the final reason, the aforementioned raider. Personally, I like having NPCs at a camp. They make for great missiles and you can launch them at Mach 3 across to the other side of the map in some cases. Next up, we're back in the Toxic Valley, and we're just across from Becker Farm. And yeah, we've got more pre-war houses. As I said, there is a lot in the game, it's just some of them are in better condition than the others. These two are pretty much intact. They both have decent sized interiors. The bigger of the two houses is obviously, well, bigger because it's a larger structure, but anyway, moving on. Both of them are very well fleshed out inside. There's a lot of furniture, they both have 2 stories, and like I said before, they are in pretty good condition. On the porch of the smaller house, you do get an NPC. I had one of those roving traders at one point, can't remember what she sold, but yeah, we're overpriced shit, let's be honest. In terms of the enemies, I think I've seen ghouls here. It has been a long time since I've been to this spot, but ghouls does spring to mind. And to finish up, you guessed it, we are back in the forest, and yes, it's another pre-war house. I know, I like to surprise you all. This one's right next to the river, so obviously you get some absolutely stunning views, especially at the evening when it's starting to go dark and all that orangey shite comes through. Simply lovely. The house itself is in remarkable condition, there's literally no damage to it whatsoever. Obviously the interior is full of shit, like most of the locations in the game, but this one has an extra special kind of crap in it. There's a little Easter egg by Bethesda in here, and I don't know exactly what it is, it's some really random video, but it's about some chap that married a rad roach. I don't know, I'll leave a link down in the description, take a look at it if you want. So for our first spot, we're just near the pumpkin house, and we've got ourselves a little backwoods bungalow. Not the silver variety, the green variety. Simply lovely. Now, there's not really too much I can say about this spot. I mean, it's a caravan bungalow, kind of whatever the bloody hell thing it is. You know, it's quite self-explanatory. But it is very easy to put down items on the inside of it. A lot of pre-existing structures, you need to use mats. But this one, everything seems to go down, no problems whatsoever. Which is a bonus. Sorry about that, not quite sure what happened there, I just lost it for a second, but that's okay, let's continue. If you did unlock the Backwoods Bungalow, do you know that little green one we got on the scoreboard, I think it was, then you could build yourself a nice little campsite here. It's pretty much set out for you. I can't remember the build limit on the bungalows, but yeah, it goes without saying you're going to be able to put at least one more down, don't it? It kind of makes sense. I will say though, before you put down your camp here, if you're adverse to fighting, you know, you're a pacifist or something, there is enemies around here, and quite a lot of them. You've got a fissure site just across the way from you, which is always a barrel of fun. And I've had super mutants spawn in here as well, which again, are an absolute blast to deal with. You know, they come in firing at you with assault rifles and miniguns. It just keeps you on your toes. Next up, we're just across from the Rollins Labour Camp, and this is Limp Bizkit's favourite spot, let me tell you. Now, do be warned, we are in the ash heap, so when you breathe in and breathe out, you've really got to be careful, because you can give yourself lung damage. And if you ever do see some of the blood eagles that spawn here, it's best just to put your hands up, then put them down, and ask them what they're going to do now. I'm so sorry, I'll stop with the pathetic dad joke. Now, this location is actually massive. You've got a number of different structures you can build in here. We've got this little Signal Boy 3000 with a water tank at side of it. I don't know the technical term of what it is. I don't work on the bloody railway. We've also got this gap defeater 300 here, also known as a bridge. You can get your camp radius to go around that as well, which is very, very nice. And you've also got all these little train carriages you can build in and around as well. Very, very nice. Honestly, a really cool spot this. If you ignore all the enemies, which do spawn here, as I mentioned before, then job's a good one. Number 3. Yes, we're in the Cranberry Bog. I know, it's a bit risky, but do I care? Yes would be the honest answer, but we're going to pretend it's no and crack on anyway. Now, as you just saw on the map, we're just down from the Sunrise Fields, and there's some little buildings here that you can build in. These are not the best at all, let me tell you now. There is better locations on the map. However, I very rarely show spots in the Cranberry Bog, and it's about time I mix it up a little bit. So, what are the positives of this beautiful location? Well, you've got these two little shacks you can build in, if you could even call them that. Although one of them, I'm guessing you'll be pissing in the wind trying to place anything down in, because it's just so bloody small, and that is exactly what she said before you get in there in the comments, you buggers. The second building, yep, you can build in it, but you are probably going to have to use mats to place down items, so don't say I didn't warn you. What are the other positives? Well, we have a wood pile at the back, which is always nice. You know, wood is really difficult to get hold of. Nope, no it isn't. One actual positive we do have though, there's brain fungus lying around, and as we all know, that is very good for your intelligence. I wish it were a real thing, because Jesus Christ, I could do with some of that myself. So now we move on to the not so good points, you know, because I put forward so many good points, that's a lie. And the first blaringly obvious problem with this place is the location itself. The Cranberry Bog. I hate this place. If you like it, fantastic. If you like me and you don't, well, you made the right decision, and just totally ignore this camp location altogether. The second most annoying thing about this spot is the type of enemies that spawn here. I've had mole rats and I've had ghouls. Next up, we're at the top of the world, and we have got ourselves a nice little raider windmill. Very, very nice indeed. Now, the key word here is raider, right? It's a raider windmill. So if you're not allied with the raiders, raiders do spawn here, and they will shoot at you. So be prepared to have a little scrap. Other than that, it's a pretty sweet location. I can't fault it. You can't really build inside the windmill. It is very small and enclosed in there, but it would look pretty epic as the centerpiece of a farm build. The windmills show up on farms? I don't know. You never see them in Britain, and if you hadn't guessed, I am indeed British. I will say, however, this is quite a well-known location. I have seen camps here before, and I have seen videos of it on YouTube in the past, so just beware, you may struggle to get your camp down every now and again. For our last location, we're just near Fort Atlas, more specifically near that little dog there. Can you see him there wagging his tail? Isn't he lovely? Now this spot, I've got nothing bad to say about it. I've not even seen an enemy here. Would you believe it? But that doesn't mean there isn't any. Old TNG does have an habit of not mentioning certain things like that, but we'll just gloss over that and carry on. The main feature of this spot is obviously the open-sided cabin shelter thing over there. These aren't unique to this spot though. There is some more over near the Gorge River Bridge. I'll leave a link to a video I did on that spot spot in the top corner. You'll see it floating if everything works. As well as the shelter, we've got this little campfire area too. It's really simple. There's nothing special about it, but it does give a nice effect to the area. I don't know why, it just looks good. On top of this, there is a little acid deposit a little bit down the road as well. You'll see where I mean when you actually get to the location. I'm not sure if you'll be able to get the shelter and that into a camp radius, but it's there if you need it. Hey up everybody, how the devil are we all doing? It's a naughty Goujon, and today we're taking a look at another top 5 camp locations. Simply lovely. Location uno, we're in the swamps of Dagobah, otherwise known as the Mire. Now I am going to level with you, I absolutely hate this region, but for some strange reason, Bethesda saw fit to put some of the best camp spots here, so what can you do? Anyway, let's take a look at this camp spot, shall we? Yeah, sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? As you can see, we've got ourselves a little tin shed with a guard post strapped at the side of it. Now, it's not brilliant, granted, but it is quite unique, and somebody much more intelligent than me could probably do quite a decent camp here. If you place down your camp modules strategically, you can get a little bit of the lake inside its radius, which is really good if you're the type of person who builds 87,000 lot water purifiers at your camp. Simply lovely. The terrain around it is pretty shit, you know, like most of the Mire in general, but it shouldn't be too much of a challenge to throw something down here. All in all, guys, region aside, of course, it's not a bad camp spot at all. Location 2, we're staying in the Mire, and we're actually just up the road from our first location. Ain't that lovely? Nope, still an absolute shithole. All it is another example of Bethesda putting a brilliant location in perhaps the worst region on the map. If you do like the Mire, by the way, now would be a good time for me to apologise. Nope, I'm not gonna do. So what do we have here then? Well, we have ourselves a treehouse, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty frigging cool. How easy it is to build in, I could not tell you. All I know is you can put your camp module in and around it, and you can put stuff down. The job of working out what to build here and how to build here is down to you, mon petit fleurs. Access to the treehouse itself is gained by this ramp here. You will get stuck on some of the vines, so you may have to jump and fall into the water and repeat the process again. But once you've completed that Indiana Jones-esque temple run thing, you'll find yourself at the top here with this nice little view of the lake. Ain't that nice? Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Even as a guy that despises the Mire, you know, like I've said 16 times in this video, I've got to admit this is quite a pleasant view and quite a nice area. Fair play. For location 3, we're in the best region on the map, and much like the north, it's God's own country. Yep, we're in the forest. And what do we have here? Well, we have ourselves a nice little viewing platform, as well as a creepy old NPC who, if was real, would probably spend most of his time in trouble with the police for indecent exposure. Now, don't deny it, you know exactly what I'm on about. Gramps just gives off the whipping your wang out outside of a retirement home and windmilling kind of vibe. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course you do. Anyway, where? Ah, yeah, camp location. Now, other than this little viewing tower, we've got ourselves a tent, which is nice, I guess. Yep, simply lovely. And of course, we've got ourselves a couple of workbenches or crafting stations, whatever you want to call them. We've got a cooking pot here, that's absolutely great. And underneath the watchtower itself, we've got ourselves a weapons workbench. Simply fantastic. Now, onto the terrain. It doesn't look too difficult to build here, but I've not tried it, so I couldn't tell you. Again, this is going to be down to you guys to discover what the bloody hell it's like. Personally, I reckon it's got a shit ton of potential. Now then, we come on to the pièce de résistance, as the Dutch say. Yeah, we'll go with that. Obviously, with it being a viewing platform, you expect it to have a view, don't you? And that's exactly what we've got. Take a look at this. You know, I'm sure some of you think, why do you love the forest so much, TNG? Well, here's your bloody answer. It's views like this, and this is by far nowhere near the best view location in the region. There's some absolutely beautiful spots out there. Just take a look at some of my other videos. Shameless plug, I know. All things considered, I think we can say that this is a pretty good spot, can't we? Yeah, we can all agree on that one. However, before we move on to our next spot, I will say, enemies do spawn here. So far, I've had liberators and a couple of mole rats. But don't let that dampen your spirits or your enthusiasm to build here. Just slap down a couple of turrets or pull out your gun and shoot the enemies, and they'll die. I know, it's incredible, isn't it? In a post-apocalyptic game, you do indeed have to shoot things. Radical thinking by Bethesda there. For location 4, again, we're in the forest. Best region on the map, just in case you didn't hear it the last 76 times. And we're just up from the Tyler County Fairgrounds. Simply marvellous. Now then, what's the first thing you notice about this location? There's nothing that really stands out, is there? Other than one small key feature. It's flatter than Keira Knightley's chest. Yet, this place is absolutely fantastic if you want a really simple and easy build. There's no uneven terrain to combat, it's a nice big open area so you could put down the biggest, most vulgar camp you could dream of. And, to top it off, it does have a resource as well. Yep, you can put down a steel extractor. How brilliant's that, eh? Who doesn't love steel? Everybody loves steel. Steel is the real deal that goes well with any meal. Something about a Navy SEAL and an automobile. Jesus Christ, I need help. So all these Fallout videos I make, you know, I have to actually play the game, and it's left me with just 2 brain cells fighting for dominance up there, so yeah, there's not much left in my mind at this point. Now back to the camp location. We've mentioned a lot of positives, haven't we? But there is some negatives. Enemies. On my excursions through this area, which is quite admittedly not a lot, I have come across blood eagles and super mutants. Now again, you can kill them using turrets or by whipping out your weapon, but they are a little bit more troublesome than a fucking mole rat. Well, I say that depends on who you're asked, doesn't it? But in all honesty guys, it is a really nice location, dead easy to build in, and flat ground isn't something you come across often in Fallout, especially massive open areas of it like this as well. For our last location, we're in the arse end of nowhere, and technically I think you'd class this as the Savage Divide, but I'm not too sure. It doesn't look like the contents of my toilet after a night out in town, so yeah, we'll go with Savage Divide. Now this spot is pretty cool, and I do believe it's pretty popular. I have seen quite a few camps up here, but what we have is a mega treehouse. I think this bugger's something like 5 or 6 stories tall. It is pretty, you know, substantial. Yeah, that's the word. Now, similar to the last treehouse, to get into it, you got to go up these steps here. The only difference is you don't have any vines stopping your way, but there is some really, really thin planks, and if you fall, it will do you some damage. Placing your camp module can be an issue as well. If you place it right at the top, you'll be able to build on the top story and a couple of levels down, but if you place it on the floor, you won't be able to build on the higher levels. Does that make sense? Yeah, of course it does. What I'm trying to say is try to be strategic on where you place your camp module. With this being in the arse end of nowhere, if you're the kind of person that likes to sell shit through your vendors, this probably isn't the best spot for you. Not many people come up this way. However, if you dislike people and you fancy yourself a hermit, this is spot on. Again, another pretty cool and unique location. Obviously there is more tree houses in the game, but nothing quite to this scale. First up is 2 locations that I'm going to class as one location, considering they're next door to each other. So to start with, we've got this little pond behind Gilman Lumberyard here. It's an absolutely brilliant spot. I had my camp here from day dot. It's only in the last couple of months I've moved it to Flatwoods. It's really forgiving to build in. You know, the water level's not too high, not too low. It's just perfect, like baby bear's porridge. And the little rock face at the back of it is quite forgiving. You can snap walls into it and floors quite easily. On top of that, you're in the forest, of course, so you have all the beautiful scenery surrounding it. To be honest with you, there's only one letdown really, and that's the lumberyard itself. You've got all this beautiful wilderness, and then you've got that big bloody ugly thing in front of you. But other than that, I can't fault it. You do get scorched and liberators here every now and again, but just shoot them. You know, that's what guns are designed for. The second part of this location is a little bit down the way, and again, it's a nice little pond, but this one has the added benefit of having a dock on it as well. The water levels, again, are very good to build in, but I will say this is more common than the one further up, so you may struggle putting your camp down. All in all, 2 very good spots in my opinion. They're both a decent size, they both have an abundance of materials, i.e. wood, you know, because you're in a forest, it's kind of self-explanatory. And of course, by being in said forest, you've got all those fantastic views and all that scenery, and lots of critters that you can go around and murder for no apparent reason. For our second location, we are near the Pleasant Valley Railway Station. Very, very nice. And there is a couple of bodies of water here, but this one is probably the best in terms of water level and the space you've got to build in. As I say, guys, there is a lot of water around here. So when you find the one where there's a load of Brahmin pretending to be submarines, you know you're in the right place. I've done a shitload of camps here, and trust me, you do have enough space to put down some fairly large structures. I've had some ships here, I've had a big mansion here with a swimming pool. Your possibilities are endless. There's a couple of things I will pre-warn you about though, guys. Some of the areas here, and this does happen in other water locations as well, but if you put down a foundation and you're not happy with it, and it's slightly under the water, you won't be able to highlight it again and delete it, so just beware of that. The second thing is, primal cuts does take place in area during meat week, so yeah, you will be getting enemies around here at some point. However, you could class this as a positive really. Stick down a couple of turrets on your camp, sit there and just milk the event for XP. Location 3, or 3 in English. We're just down from the relay tower, EL-B1-02. Definitely not a mouthful. And yeah, that's exactly what she said, you filthy-minded buggers. Now, if locations were ranked by tier, this would be God tier, and I mean our bloody Lord and Saviour tier. Seriously, if you've never been here before, just go down and take a ganders. There's a reason why everybody holds this place in such high regard. The water itself, it's quite a decent size. It's not the biggest one on this list, but it'll do. It's also quite easy to build in. Simply lovely. As well as the pond itself, the scenery is bloody marvellous as well. You've got this massive rock face at the back here, or cliff face. That's more of a cliff face, definitely bigger than a rock face. And if you do a full 360 and look out towards the Cranberry Bog, you get an absolutely fantastic view of all the nukes fallen. Now we're back up in the forest and we're just near Point Pleasant and the Marigold Pavilion. Now some of you may remember I did cover this spot not too long back, but it is one of my favourite water locations on the map. It's not the biggest of locations we've been to in this video, but it is still a decent size and you can get down a relatively big camp here. It's got these stairs winding down to a little docking area down there, and you've also got your own canoe as well, which I'm sure is perfectly ship-shaped. Nope, it'll sink like a lead ball. But I guess that's totally irrelevant considering you can't actually go in a boat on Fallout 76. What am I even on about again? Oh yeah, camp locations. If you're going to build here, my advice would be to build around the decking area at the top of the stairs. Not that my advice means much, but yeah, may give you some ideas. It is quite tricky to get the foundations around that top decking area, but you can do it and it makes for a really nice looking camp. There is some enemies here, I will pre-warn you. Up near that giant Corvega sign, they're usually scrapping amongst themselves. If they come down to your camp, kill them. It's as simple as that, innit? Last but not least, we are down in the bottom corner of the map, and we're just near the giant grizzly bear thing. Can you see it there? Fantastic. Now, this is a bloody huge body of water. You can get down a nice sized camp here, no problems whatsoever. Foundation placement shouldn't be an issue. The water isn't too deep, but there is quite a lot of crap knocking around in the water, i.e. debris. See, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. But it shouldn't be an issue, and you should be able to build around it. You don't see many people placing the camps down here, so when you log in, it shouldn't be an issue actually being able to put your camp down. On the flip side of that, though, you may not get much traffic to your vendor down here, so just bear that in mind. In addition to being quite a nice water location, you do have all these trees around you as well. It's not quite as green or as vibrant as the forest, but it's still got some nice scenery. So for our first location, we're up in the arse end of nowhere. We're located just near the converted munitions factory and just a little bit across from Sacrament. Now this place does have a couple of good things going for it. One, it's smooth, which is the whole entire purpose of this video. Yep, fantastic. And two, it's within spitting distance of the workshop. Absolutely brilliant. It is quite a barren location though. Other than this road running through it, there's not much here at all. You do get this little 4x4 though, which is brilliant if you like it. If you do want rid of it though, I will pre-warn you. It's much like my career. It ain't going nowhere. So just bear that in mind before you build here. You cannot get rid of that Jeep. Enemies wise, there's not really that much up here. You get ghouls, you get mole rats, and you get dogs. I think that's about the worst of it. Next up, we're just near Drop Site Bravo, and this place is a bit sad because it used to be a lot better than it is now. Unfortunately, Bethesda, in their infinite wisdom, decided to put a tent down right in the middle of the location, so now the building area has been reduced by half. As you can see, you can still get a pretty decent sized camp down here. You could even incorporate the tent into a bloody build if you wanted to. Why? But as Church says, why would you put a tent down in one of the only flat locations in the entire game? It just seems a bit stupid to me. Aside from the tent though, it is still a really good location. You can put down a nice build here, and to top it off, just look at them views. Absolutely fantastic. Enemies wise, the only thing I've seen up here so far was a Yao Guai, or however the bloody hell you pronounce it, angry bear. Next up, we're near the flooded train yard, and this place is absolutely massive. Just take a look at this. Look at all that flat land. I've never seen anywhere else in the game with this much concentrated into one area. Absolutely fantastic. All the foundations go down really nice. You can get them dead low into the ground. There's not 27 foot of concrete sticking out of it. And because it's such a big area, you could put down an absolutely ginormous camp here. No issues at all. The only problem I have with it is the location itself. The Cranberry Bog. I don't like the colours. I don't like the fact that you're in the arse end of nowhere. However, I know a lot of you guys like building down here, so that's why I've thrown it in. Plus, the aim of this video is best flat locations, not the best places to camp. So yeah, let's carry on. The place we're located at here is just near the Giant Snake. This is probably the biggest and flattest area on the golf club. The driving range is pretty smooth as well, but it's a much smaller location. What can I say? It's an absolutely beautiful spot. This is probably the place where most of us, when we started playing, first came to and thought, yep, I'm putting my camp down here. The main problem with this spot is its popularity. You will struggle to get your camp down on most servers. It may take you 1 or 2 tries. But in my opinion, it's a small price to pay for such an amazing location. Enemies wise, I've had everything here. I've had mole rats all the way up to super mutants. So yeah, it's just luck of the draw. You could have anything. All in all, one of the oldest and most common locations in the game, but by far one of the best locations in the game. Next up, we have a location that's absolutely perfect for shops, diners, and everything in between. Let's take a look. This is the car park for the Miners' Monument, and let me tell you, I've seen some absolutely fantastic builds here. As you can see, the terrain is dead straight. You could put a ruler on that, absolutely no problem whatsoever. You've got the cars here, which gives a nice bit of scenery, especially if you are doing something like a diner. And with it being so close to the Whitesprings, you probably will get a few visitors every now and again. The biggest problem with this spot is the robots that spawn down near the Miners' Monument. Most of them are fairly easy to deal with, but every now and again you do get an Assaultron, so just, you know, keep your eye out for her. One thing I will say, guys, you can't get rid of the cars, so they are going to become part of your build. That's why I'm suggesting more of a themed build here. They do limit the space that you can use as well, but as you can see from these foundations I've put down, you can get a reasonable sized camp down here. So for our first location, we're just down from foundation. God, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. And I'm actually surprised I've never seen this little area before. Now the tightrope, yeah, that's quite a well-known thing, but this bandstand, I've personally never actually come across it before, and it's actually bloody brilliant. I don't actually think it's a bandstand, it's more of a viewing spot, but we'll just gloss over that. Now, other than this little viewing platform here, just take a look at the view itself. It's actually bloody amazing. I really do like this. It's not the best spot that I've seen in the game, but it's up there, definitely. And to make this location even more desirable, we've got no enemies. Absolutely bloody fantastic, that, isn't it? All in all, it's a solid spot. If you like views, it's got them. If you like walking tight ropes, then yeah, it's got that as well, I guess. And if you like immersive structures, then you've got the little viewing platform. Simply lovely. So for the second spot, again, we're near foundation. And what we have here is Gollum's Cave. Stupid hobbit says. Jesus Christ, it's easy to do that when your balls haven't dropped. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Now this location's a bit of an odd one. Yes, it's very cool because you've got a cave, but there's not much room to actually build around and in it, if that makes any sense. But if you come to the top of it, then you've got a big flat rock that you can build on. So if you wanted to, you could have this as like a little basement. I don't know, I'm just trying to swing some ideas your way. The wildlife's pretty annoying round here as well. You get them floaty jellyfish things, what they call floaters, that's the one. Yeah, got there eventually. So yeah, this could prove to be a little bit of a challenge to build here, but I'm sure if you put a bit of imagination into it, you get an half decent camp at end of it. On to number 3, and this is a very well-known, very old-school location. I like throwing these in every now and again. As you can see, we've got ourselves a rope bridge, and isn't that lovely? Nope, it really isn't, but it's something to build a structure around. Now, for fans of Game of Thrones, you may be getting the same kind of vibes as I'm getting, you know, Walder Frey, that kind of stuff, but I'm not on about, you know, the mass genocide and betrayal at a wedding. I'm on about the actual towers that they live in across that river. What's it called? The Twins, that's the one. I don't know, that's just me anyway. As well as the rope bridge, we've got this little campsite down here that you can build in. Now, enemies do spawn here. I've seen cultists, but not much else, to be honest with you. That being said, though, this isn't a spot that I regularly visit, so you could have bloody Deathclaws here. I don't know, it's a surprise. It makes it more exciting for you, doesn't it? There's also this nice little lake down here as well that you can build in and around, so think of this as 2 locations in one. Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. For this spot, we're back in the forest, and we're just near Vault 76, actually, so that's nice. And there's actually a couple of ways you could go around building here. You've got this tent, so if you're into your immersive builds, then yep, that'll suit you right down to the ground. Incorporate it in there, job's a good one. It's not the best, but it's got a motorbike in there and some other assorted crap. And if that doesn't do it for you, if you come a little bit to the left of that, then you've got this nice little patch of flat land. Now, yes, it's not the biggest flat area I've ever seen in my life, but it's enough to get down a decent-sized camp. And as with most of the forest, to top it off, it's got an half-decent view as well. Again, not a bad location, really easy to build in, and it's got a couple of things there for a multitude of different designs. And last but not least, we're up in the Savage Divide, and we're near the Red Rocket Mega Stop. I think that's its name anyway. It's a big, ginormous gas station, I think. And what we've got ourselves here is a military checkpoint. Simply lovely. Now, as you can see, we've got an APC that we can go inside. Very, very nice. It is missing its concrete base, though, because that's what all military vehicles have, as we all know. We've got a tent, which is stocked with some crap, which is, again, very, very lovely. A nice little shooty platform here. And to finish off the military vibe, we've got a little 4x4 as well. Brilliant. Now, if this isn't enough military goodness for you, then there's actually a relatively flat patch of land nearby as well. And if you really wanted to, you could use this area to put down a more permanent base. The Brotherhood Flat Tower, the Armory, or just build something from scratch. Alternatively, you could put down a buddy modern house here. It's absolutely fine. I'm sure it'll match in perfectly with the surroundings. Couple of things to note though, guys. There is enemies here. I've had mole rats, and they are the most frustrating things you can come across in the wasteland. That and rad scorpions as well. And to make things extra spicy as well, the blue car explodes. So just stay clear of that if you're doing some friendly shooting. Hey up everybody, it's the Nail Gun. How the devil are we all doing? In this video we're taking a look at another top 5 camp locations. As ever, if you like the video after watching, please consider hitting that like button, and if you really want to help a guy out, you may even hit that subscribe button too. Suits you sir. Anyway, let's jump into it. Right, so let's take a look at our first location. We're just up near this bumblebee. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to represent, but yep, you can't miss it. Nice and easy to spot. And what we've got ourselves here is a motorbike dirt track, I do believe. I've not been here in a very long time, but I do remember Scorpio Prime showing me this a while back. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure it's the same spot, so thank you very much for that. It's quite a large location. You could pretty much get a settlement down here if you really, really wanted to. But the piers do resistance, as they say in Japan, is this little trailer in the middle of it. As with all the trailers in the game that you can build in, it is quite a small area. There is a bed that you can use in here as well, but I will pre-warn you, the Super Mutant doesn't come with the deal. So if you're into that kind of thing, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Enemies wise, raiders do spawn here, which isn't a problem if you're allied with them, and as you may have guessed, super mutants also spawn here as well. So expect a little bit of fighting. This isn't World War I. You can't conscientiously object. If you want to place your camp here, you're gonna have to fight for it. It's as simple as that. All in all, a very good location, very immersive if you're into them kind of builds, but like I said, there is a little bit of danger to it. For the next spot on our tour of Appalachia, we're just across from Camp Venture, and again, we've got another pre-existing structure. This one's pretty damn sweet. It's an old dump truck with a shack built around it. I will pre-warn you though, there is enemies here. It's usually wild mongrels or mole rats. On top of the beasties that spawn, there is a fixed turret inside of the shack itself, so yeah, just be mindful of that. I'm not sure if it only loads in when you load into a new server, or if it just respawns continuously. Other than that though, it's a pretty solid location. It has really nice views looking out over the Cranberry Bog, as you can see here, and you've got yourself a couple of workbenches in the shack as well. There's a tinker's workbench right down at the bottom of it, and then at the arse end, I think it's an armor workbench. I'm not 100% on that though. And to finish it up, if you walk round to the back of the dump truck, you can also place camp stuff down in there as well. Now we're in the Ash Heap, and we're just across from Beckley, and this is probably one of the biggest pre-existing structures you can place your camp down at. To put it simply, this thing is cool as shit. Just take a look at this. If you're into the Industrial Revolution or some kind of other, you know, mechanical kind of things, then yeah, this is going to suit you down to the ground. You can build on top of the crane. There's a little picnic going down here as well with a couple of skeletons. They look like they're having a really good time apart from being dead. You can actually use the stairs that'll take you up to the top of the boom arm on the crane. I think that's the technical term. Boom arm? Yeah, you know what I mean. The big Winchy Boy 5000 at front of it. If you go up to the top of the Winchy Boy 5000, you will get a very nice view of the Ash Heap. Turn around and you also get a nice view of the forest, which is a good touch. I will pre-warn you though, this was filmed in Worlds. I've not changed any of the restrictions on camp building, but I have set the weather to clear, so it may not be as, what's the word? Crisp. That's it, if you do it in adventure mode. In terms of enemies, I've not actually seen any here, quite surprisingly, but I'm sure you guys will let me know down in the comments how wrong I am. Going back towards the Michael Boomblay B, we're just near the North Cutthroat Camp, and this is a really nice little water location. It's not the biggest by any stretch of the imagination, but as my wife always says, size matters. Wait, no, that's wrong. Anyway, moving on. Got some nice little log piles over here as well for all your harvesting needs, you know, because wood is really, really hard to come by in this game. Nope, I'm totally wrong again. It's extremely easy to come by. If you hate Mother Nature, you can delete all these reeds around the pond as well. Just put down some floor decorations. I like to use the confetti because that's pretty much the only use it has in the entire game. If you're a fan of Castaway, you've also got this little raft here as well.
Wilson!
Which I'm sure you could incorporate into some form of build. I don't know how, but yeah, the opportunity is there. And to top it off, I've not seen any enemies here. Again, you're probably going to tell me what an idiot I am down in the comments and tell me how many times you've been murdered here, but that's okay. I like to learn things. And to finish this video up, we're back in the ash heap yet again. I know, quite surprising there's actually places you would want to camp in this absolute hellhole. What we've got here is a little gantry. I know it doesn't look much, but I reckon that some talented builders out there could actually make a really nice raider themed build here. To add to the raidery goodness, you do actually get 2 raiders that spawn here. Again, if you're allied with them, no problem. If you're not, you're just going to have to kill them. Simple as that. You won't be able to get the whole gantry into your build area unless you're in Worlds, of course, but you can get up to a decent point. Where I've put that palm tree is pretty much the build limit. Enemies-wise, again, tell me what I've missed down in the comments because I've seen bugger all here. And just to finish it off, you do get another nice view of the forest. I know, I am really surprised at all these ash heap locations where you can actually get a really nice view of some decent terrain. Again, though, it was filmed in Worlds, so I don't know how clear it's going to be in adventure mode. Next up, we're in the Mire, and we're pretty much building on top of Braxton's Quality Medical Supplies. Very intrusive. Thank you very much to my fellow content creator and good friend, Lobby76, for showing me this spot. Let's take a look at it. So let's start off with the obvious. This location is absolutely smooth as silk. You could put down anything you wanted to here. While you could put down any build here, I would advise keeping it immersive and lore friendly. For some reason, I don't think a modern house placed down in the middle of the Mire in front of an old factory is really gonna look right. Let's be honest with ourselves. You can get this build pretty close to the factory. As you can see, the foundations that I'm putting down now are not too far away at all. I'd recommend a military style build here, or you could even just add some extra warehouse style buildings to match in with the factory in the background. I don't know, it's your build, I'm just trying to give you some ideas. Enemies wise, I've only seen a couple here, and that was super mutants, and I think they were fighting some settler engineers. I don't know if that's the only spawn, I don't know if it's a static spawn, but yeah, I just thought I'd make you aware of that one. This next location is old school. You know I like throwing these in there. Let's just take a look. Now, where I've got my camp down is only a small area of where you can actually build in this site. The first spot I'm showing you here has this nice little cabin here. You can build into it, but I will pre-warn you, the picnic benches that are inside, you can't get rid of them as far as I'm aware, so it can be a little tricky. You've also got these steps here that run down in different levels on the side of the mountain. It's got fantastic views of the bridge as well and all the surrounding forest. Really, really nice spot if you're into your views. If you follow this path down all the way, you'll come to another set of these open-sided cabins and also some more steps. Again, you can build inside the cabins, but there's 2 of them, so you can do a nice build including 2 rather than just the one singular one further up that path. It's got nice views just like the other spot, and all in all, it's a really well-rounded location. Enemies-wise, you do get ghouls around this area. It's quite a common place for them. I've also had mole rats, but again, just get your gun out, shoot them, and you'll be absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Next up, we're back in the Mire and we're located just near the Moth's Hole. Or is it Moth's Home? I don't know, it's something to do with moths anyway. This spot has a pretty cool structure on it already. A lot of places in the Mire are built in this style. I don't know what their obsession with bunkers is, but yeah, we'll just carry on. It's pretty well fleshed out inside. You've got all this furniture, there's an armor workbench, but there is also a slight problem with ticks. They do spawn in every time you join a server, so yeah, it's not ideal, but they're not too difficult to deal with, let's be honest with ourselves. All in all, unless you don't give a shit about making your build fit with the environment, you are going to be limited to a lore-friendly kind of build here. There is quite a few locations similar to this in the Mire, so if this one doesn't do it for you, I'll leave one of those floaty boy cards in the top corner, take a look at it, and you may find a spot that suits your needs more than this one. Last but not least, we're at Somersville Dam, and this place would make an absolutely fantastic military-style checkpoint. I do believe it's some form of pump house or something to control the flow of the water on the dam. I don't know, I thought a toilet block was a restaurant on one of my last videos, so don't take my word for it. There is a lot of crap inside this building, so it's going to be one of them. You either incorporate this building into a larger build, or you think smart and you build small. I don't know, it's entirely up to you. Enemies-wise, there is a lot of them, I'm not going to lie to you. You get a decent amount of score torched spawning on the dam itself, and there is some that spawn inside this little pump house too. So yeah, if you want to camp here, you're just going to have to deal with that. Aside from the enemies, it's a really cool location. There's a lot of room for a theme build. Like I said, a military one would fit here perfectly, and it's just crying out for somebody to have a shot at it. You know what? I may actually do a build here in one of my next videos. The first location we're going to is near this little pig on the map here. It's just up from Marigold Pavilion, and this is one spot that I've been wanting to build in for a very, very long time. As you can see, it's an abandoned junkyard, and I reckon it'd be perfect for some form of lore-friendly build, but don't get your knickers in a twist, Angry Aaron. If you want to build a modern house in the middle of the junkyard, that's absolutely fine. Nobody will judge you for it. As well as all the junkyardy goodness, we've got a junk pile at this end of the scrapyard, just outside the fence, and then at the opposite end, we've got a wood pile too. So yeah, there's a couple of resources here. It's got quite a decent area to build into. You could get down a fair few structures here. And with it being in the forest, you've got all the trees around you too, so that gives it a little bit of eye candy. Enemies wise, I've seen absolutely nothing. Like, literally nothing. But before you could build here, I do remember ghouls spawning, so they may pop up again. I don't know. I couldn't give you an answer on that one. All in all, it's a really nice location, and I'm glad that Bethesda have finally opened it up for us so we can build our camps here. Next up, we're in the Ash Heap, and we're near the Earth Destroyer 3000, otherwise known as the Rockhound. What we have here is a little two-storey shack. The interior is really well fleshed out on it. I think you've even got a tinker's workbench in it as well, which is a nice little touch. You've got a few vehicles outside, including one of those big dirty mining trucks. Very, very nice indeed. And of course, if you're a fan of PvP, you've got a workshop slap bang next to you. Simply, simply lovely. Enemies-wise, I've seen a few here, all the way from mole miners up to super mutants. It really does vary on what's going to spawn in. You can also get raiders in here too, which isn't much of a problem if you're allied with the raiders or you're friendly with them, but if you've not done any of them quests, then they do usually shoot on sight. If you don't mind lung disease or asbestosis, this spot would be absolutely perfect for you. I don't think there's enough good places to camp in the Ash Heap, so this is a welcome addition. For spot number 3, we're back in the forest, and we're just down from Slocum's Jaw, or up from Slocum's Jaw, depending on which way you look at it. Anyway, moving on. What we've got here is a pre-war house, and from the outside, it's a lot like Harley Quinn, you know. It looks bloody good, but once you dig a little bit deeper, you find that it's all blown to shit and everything's a mess. While the ground floor is in good condition, albeit a very messy kind of good condition, the upstairs is totally screwed. Honestly, the landing floor has just disappeared and has been replaced by a piece of wood, and the rooms off to the side are not that good either. But aside from the top floor, it's really not a bad location to build in. You've got this little garage at the back as well. You can't get inside of it, but if you use the old cooking stove trick, you can glitch your way into it. Enemies wise, I've not seen much other than a couple of ghouls. There is a workbench here as well. I can't remember what the bloody hell it is off top of my head, but yeah, I think it's an armor one. I could be wrong. Again, it's another cool location, and it's well worth your time just heading over there and even having a look at it. You don't even have to build there. Just scope it out and see if it'll suit you. For this next one, we're just on the outskirts of the Ash Heap where it starts to border with a forest. Pretty much directly across from the Kawahaha Nuka-Cola plant. Now, this is the first of 2 trailers I'm going to be showing in this video. The second one I'm going to show you at the end is a lot more fortified, if that's the right word, but this one I'd say is more homely, if that makes any sense whatsoever. The interior of it is very well fleshed out. You've got quite a few bits of furniture in here, but like most trailer locations, I'd recommend incorporating the trailer into a larger build, because otherwise you are seriously limited to space. There is an NPC spawn here. The only one I could get to pop up is a raider. I'm not sure if any settlers spawn here or there's any enemies, but I didn't encounter any whatsoever. Again, another fantastic location. I really don't have anything bad to say about this, but if some of you guys do have anything bad to say about it, leave it down in the comments. We're back at the top end of the forest and we're just near Tyler County Fairgrounds. This location is one I've seen in the past, and again, I'm really excited to be able to build here now. To me, it seems to be some form of fishing spot. You've got the boats here, you've got the nets here, and if you actually watch the settlers that spawn here, they'll throw imaginary bait into the water. Don't know why they do it, but they seem to be having a great time. Other than the settler spawn, you do get some enemies here. I've seen dogs, I've seen super mutants, and I think I saw Scorched on one occasion. Probably did. But that's fine. Just take your gun out and shoot them, and it will kill them. Don't worry about it. Nothing much more I can say about this location, really. Just get in there while you can, because with all of these, you don't know if Bethesda have done it by accident or on purpose. So yeah, just enjoy it while it lasts. If you're looking forward to Halloween, but you don't plan on buying the new Halloween set when it comes out, this house may be the perfect substitute for you. Apart from the giant spiders in the front garden, which some sick bastard decided to make, I absolutely love this location. Decorations aside, the house itself is pretty cool as well. It's not a normal two-story house, it's actually got a basement, which is a really, really nice touch. The old place seems to be in good condition, and couple that with the decorations, as I said before, this would make a perfect Halloween camp. Enemies-wise, it varies. I've seen rad scorpions here, I've seen super mutants, but then I've seen mole rats. I don't know if they're worse or better than mutants, to be honest with you, but yeah, there's nothing too serious. Just to finish off this location, if you go a couple of feet further up the road, you'll come across a little farmstead. I don't think you can build in any of the houses down there, and I'm not sure if you could build there before the update, but I thought I'd mention it. It's a really nice spot. Go and have a ganders at it if you're in the area. And to finish up, we've got another trailer located just near the National Isolated Satellite Array. I think that's what it's called. As you can see, it's the same design as most of the trailers in the map, but this one is a little bit more fortified. It's got some walls around it, it's got a little campy spot on top of it. So what more industrial than the last one we looked at in this video? Looks like Walter White's been here cooking up some meth or something. On the enemies front, I've not actually seen anything here. Oh wait, no, that's a lie. I have seen some dogs here. That's about it. Oh no, I have seen some mutants as well. Yeah, it's safe to say enemies do spawn here. Well, yeah, just stick down some turrets, or like I said before, shoot the buggers. It's really quite simple. For our first location, we're just near Vault 76, and it's a little lookout point that you can incorporate into your camp build. Now, don't let its simplicity fool you. You can do a lot with this place. I'll leave a link down in the description below to Mr. Church's channel. He's recently done a build here, and it'll give you some idea of the kind of thing you can put on this spot. Now, NPCs do spawn here. Usually I've found that it's settlers, but if you're not happy with a random NPC wandering around your camp, you can get rid of them without bloodshed. Now, there is a cabin further up from this location as well. I believe it's called the Sickle Man cabin or the Sickle Woman cabin, but I don't know for sure. I've only been playing the game since it first came out, so what do I know? Unfortunately though, you can't build in said cabin, which is an absolute killer because it has an amazing hot tub on the decking of it. But don't fret, if you want a hot tub in this build that you're going to be doing here, just go to the item shop and give Bethesda all of your money, and you'll be able to purchase one. All in all, it's a pretty cool location. You don't see many people putting camps down here. The other bonus, it's in the middle of the forest, so when your server does inevitably crash, you're not going to be engaged in combat with any high-level beasties. The next location is just near Uncanny Caverns. Again, big thanks to my friend Stovies for showing me this one. Absolutely amazing find. As you can see, this place seems to be some form of abandoned trader, and I think it lends itself perfectly to an immersive build. You could put up a little settlement here. Imagine something like, I don't know, Bunker Hill from Fallout 4. It could be a little trader's hub where everybody meets up to sell the wares. God knows, I'm just trying to put ideas into your head, give it a little bit of a backstory. With it being situated on a road, you could put a diner next to it, you know, something a bit more modern and a bit more well constructed, and you could have this little trading post as something that's been added to the side of it after the bombs fell. Again guys, I don't know, it's entirely up to you. I'm just trying to give you some ideas of what you could put down in this location. To sum it up, it's a pretty cool spot with a good view of the Uncanny Caverns, and it would make for a perfect trading hub. Let's crack on. This location is just near the Charleston Fire Department and next to Mumble's Little Shop. This is a pretty old school location. It has been done to death. Loads of people have built here, but like I said in the last video, there's a lot of new players in the game now, and some of them may never have seen these locations. It's nice to bring back the old spots so people have a chance to build in them. As you can see, it's a very well preserved house. It's got one main living area at the front with a little loft space at the top of it. Now, there is is a bed in here, but unfortunately you can't sleep in it. It's totally unusable. If you go through to the back, there is a kitchen area with a door leading off to a bathroom, and then another door leading off to a room with just a bath in it. For some reason, the bath and the toilet are separate. There's also a door on the back wall which leads you out of the house into what would have been the back garden. This is one of the best preserved pre-war houses on the entire map. Yes, it is quite small, but the purveyor is close by, which means when you've used up all your legendary modules crafting absolutely useless armor, you can go and script them and start the cycle all over again. Perfect. Next up, we're near the XP farm, aka Emmett Mountain Disposal Site, and it's a little mountain gift shop, I do believe. I don't know, take a look at it, see what you think. Now this thing is made out of one of the best building sets I've ever seen in this game. In typical Bethesda fashion though, we can't actually use it, despite the fact it's an actual asset in the game itself. But don't worry, in a couple of years time, when there's no other players left in the game, they'll probably put it up in the Atomic Shop for a ridiculous price, and me and the other skeletons can go in there and buy it. Fantastic. All joking aside though, it is a pretty nice location. You've got this car park at the front. Again, this would suit a diner build down to the ground absolutely perfectly. 100% it needs a diner. Build a diner here. On top of that, it does have some pretty decent views, this location. Not the best, I have seen better, but they are acceptable. Now there has been a couple of NPCs in the vicinity on the last couple of times I've spawned in here. There's been a couple of super mutants, some liberators, and on one occasion a very angry Deathclaw, so don't say I didn't warn you. The inside is pretty small, but again, I'd concentrate on building onto this rather than trying to cram everything inside of it, incorporate it into a build rather than it being the build itself, if that makes any sense. No, probably doesn't. And last but not least, we have the location where I did my last camp build at, and it is down in the mire just near Haven Church. Now this is a pretty cool location. There is other places in the game with stuff buried under the ground or turned into a bunker, but this is the only one that's actually been built, if that makes any sense. It can be a bit difficult putting down items inside of the bunker. If you are struggling, just use the old rug glitch and you're onto a winner. No problems whatsoever. At the back of this location, there is a little farming area. NPCs do spawn here. I've had the settler forager most of the time, you know, that weirdo that walks around asking you to pull his finger for some strange and disturbing reason. But other than the creepy guy, it is a pretty sweet location. There's also this house as well. Now, I don't like building in this because it's got more lean than Michael Jackson when he did that crazy dance move. Do you know what I'm getting at with big feet? Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. What I'm trying to say is it's hard to build in it, so just take that into account. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As I said at the beginning, if you did like the video, please physically smash the like button. Physically, hit it with an hammer or something. And if you want more Fallout 76 content, please consider subscribing. I upload weekly, and it's usually camp tutorials or camp locations like this. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Have fun, everybody. Much love.